Hello, Facebook Live. Welcome to my live. This is a live that or a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for about 2 weeks. And today it finally landed to me as to why I kept procrastinating to go live and to talk about this subject. And it finally hit me, and it's perfect for today's subject. So hello and welcome to my live. My name is Jessica Lozano, and I am a femme priestess and women's empowerment coach. And I guide women to embody their sovereign divinity with men, relationships, body, money, and themselves so they can live the life of their dreams with their sacred union partner. Oh, so juicy. God, I love saying that every time. So today's topic is permission to honor your feminine and your feminine flow. When I decided that this was a perfect topic to talk about because of a certain struggle that I was facing with when it came to coming back from vacation, and I wanted to capitalize on the vacation and share my the highlights and create reels and all of this, right? It has this self-imposed pressure from my overcompensated masculine, the shadow version of my masculine, to produce something to capitalize and monetize and create likes and all of these things. And it fell very flat. And something about that didn't feel right. And I started to notice a pattern whenever I disconnected from my social media, because this is part of my business. Whenever I disconnected from social media from a very long time, when it came to about taking 2 weeks off or more, when I'm completely not engaged in terms of my business and the soul of my business within social media, maybe posting some things here and there, but not engaged, right? You get the vibe. And I noticed after those periods of breaks, it would be a little bit harder to get into the flow of creativity. I can service my clients. I can show up for the clients that I already have scheduled and booked post vacation or post getting sick, right? I can do all of that. But when it came to my creativity, I would feel like it took some time to really get back and write content for you to start promoting my next offer and all of the things that are required in a business, right? So what I noticed that. And then when I noticed that happened more when I would have 2 weeks off from being sick. But after this vacation, after I'm in my feminine this entire time from Turkey, and then I'm experiencing the same thing, I was a little shocked at the fact that I am not creative in terms of having all this inspiration from the trip, right? So I started to think about why that was. Why haven't I been inspired? And why is this happening if I'm on a vacation where I should be inspired coming back, right? Because what I see with other women on social media, right, that are in my field of business is that they are coming back and they are feeling super inspired and they are fully rested and fully recovered and they are on fire coming back, sharing images, promoting their programs, all of these things, and they are on fire. And they're like, oh my God, the creativity, and I'm having, putting out all of these things. So I am judging myself now for that. Do you get the vibe? Do you understand what I'm feeling? If you have something, if you have a business or something that requires your creative energy, or maybe it's in other areas, maybe it's in your health and fitness, or maybe with your lover. Has some hair in my mouth. Right? Can you relate? Can you relate to comparing yourself to other women and to their feminine flow. And instead of honoring their feminine flow and maybe getting inspired that they're following their flow, you compare yourself and say, I need to be like her, and you try to copy her, and then the results are nowhere near like hers, or you get burnt out. Can you relate? Let me know in the comments. So I took a second, right? Because I've been in this realm, in this work enough to understand that what I was doing, I could feel myself trying to force my feminine to get creative. So I took a second to ask myself some questions. I was like, okay, I feel resistance, right? So I had to honor the resistance there. And then look into why I'm resisting. So I like to ask myself yes or no questions sometimes. I like to either ask myself yes or no questions, and I also like to journal a lot of things out. I have to catch the vibe and feel what my intuition and what my soul is trying to tell me, like, okay, yeah, this feels like I'm getting more of the answers that feel 100% aligned to what I'm looking for. Like I'm gaining clarity through this method. So the method I decided to do was to ask myself yes or no questions to see what immediate answer I would get. So the first question I asked myself, because what I'm feeling the pressure on is capitalizing, right? Capitalizing the vacation and taking everything and making reels, about trying to get likes and all of these things. Like when I look back and think about this, like even after I gained this clarity, it's hilarious, right? Because here I am trying to force my feminine, trying to go into the overcompensating hustle culture because it is normalized that as soon as you come back from a vacation or as soon as you're done overcoming being sick, boom, you got to get back into work. Like it's straight into start generating like right away. That's what we have been brought up into. But women, we can tend to be a little bit different. Our feminine energy works so much different than the masculine. And we are not always ready, available with our energy. And the truth is, you're not always going to know when your feminine is ready to boom, create. There is a void section that we have to get used to being comfortable with in the unknown before we can take the action, before your feminine is inspired, and then your masculine can come and execute with fire. But first, we have to learn how to honor the feminine. We have to learn to honor her flow. We have to learn how to listen and to listen and feel into what she is asking for. And maybe just give it a second. It may be go dance and get your juices going. It may be take a nap. And maybe, guess what? I'm not going to tell you anything yet, so you're just going to have to be fucking patient. You know what I mean? But we really don't know. And that's the whole mystery of the feminine. And that is actually the beauty of her, of the void, of not knowing what is next, because she thrives off of faith and trust. So you have to learn how to have faith and trust in yourself that the answer will come, because the answer will come. The answer always fucking comes. But we are so trying to force ourselves to get the answer, to get instant gratification, to have to do something now, like go, go, go. It is fucking draining, and your work that you put out isn't as efficient. So what I decided to do was ask myself yes or no questions. So I asked myself, all right, feminine, soul, body, do you want to create this? And it was a full body yes. Okay. I was like, okay. Do you want to create this now? Full body no. I was like, okay, that's weird. And I can't remember if I asked any more questions. I don't think I did ask any more questions, or I did try to get more answers, but I didn't really get a full body yes or a full body no. It was like a meh. And whenever there's a meh, I know, don't take any action. So when I got the full body, okay, yes, I want to make these these reels, but then there was a no into making it now, it can be very confusing, right? Like your feminine can be very confusing. How she is like, okay, well, you're saying yes, but why not now? Like, and your mind wants to logically say, but, you know, we can capitalize it. We can move. We can do the things. We can, you know, you have time. You created space to get back from your vacation and, you know, but it's not now. And it didn't feel right. So when I got the second, like, no, I don't want to do it now. I immediately, this actually, I remember now what happened. I immediately went into trust. And I said, okay, I'm going to listen and trust. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen next. I didn't know when she was going to say, yes, this is your time. But I leaned into the faith, into trust, and letting myself be uncomfortable in the unknown. And this is when you grow, and this is when you expand. Because when you stay in the known, when you stay in what your mind wants you, because the mind only knows, it remembers the past, and it only remembers the past, and it only knows this one way. Your feminine, which is connected to intuition and which is connected to source, knows multiple ways, and it knows the path of least resistance. This is why Abraham Hicks always talks about, like, lean in, just be in the moment. Abraham Hicks teaches you to be more in your feminine energy. That's the whole teaching of the law of attraction. It does say go. It says listen to the inspiration and the impulses. What was my inspiration in the moment? I actually had to use my mind, as a matter of fact, but my intuition led that said, you know what, it doesn't feel right to do it now, so let's ask it yes or no questions. The answer no came, I leaned into trust, and about a couple days later, I knew exactly when to use these reels. And the when it came through of when to actually post these reels, it came from a place of my heart. It came from a place of depth. It came from a place of, oh my God, I could have so much to say about it because I'm speaking from my heart. And I went on this vacation with my mother, and her birthday's coming up on July 12th. What a beautiful way to share my reels, however many I decide to choose, the day of her birthday, the day before her birthday, the day after her birthday, the days leading up to her birthday, and saying something so sweet and magical about my mother. That has so much more meaning than, I want to monetize and I want to get as many likes as I can because everybody knows I was just on vacation, you know. Superficial. And you know what? I guarantee you the energy that people would feel from that reel compared to the reel that I'm going to make for my mother's birthday is going to feel, they're going to feel it in their hearts. At least my mother will. And that's what I really care about. I really care about the connection that I'm going to offer with this reel of the highlights and the feelings of the vacation and the mother-daughter bonding and all the shit that we've been through, me and my mother, in our lives, because our relationship wasn't always like that. And to have our first international mother-daughter and create reels, like, how beautiful is that? I think that's so much more meaningful and has so much more depth to how many likes I get and to the type of business that I want to create. Because I don't want to create a business, and tell me if you want to create a business that's based on struggle, sacrifice, force, time constriction, pressure. Or do we want ease and flow and fun and personal power and time freedom and liberation and intention versus metrics? That's the kind of business that I want to create. And that is what is available when we give ourselves permission to listen to our feminine and to listen to her flow and to sometimes be in the mystery of not knowing when she's going to have that full on, like, okay, now my creative juices are on. So I procrastinated this live because I was in conflict with myself. I see other coaches online that I inspire to be at that caliber, and how they seem to have it be, put together when they go on live and all of these things. And I tried to create this intention from a good place, where I was like, okay, when I go live, I really want to make sure I am leading with my full on best, like full face of makeup, have my hair done, have the best outfit, right? Because I really wanted to embody the more dark feminine energy within myself, like the seductress, enchantress, personal power, confident, right? But then what I realized is that with this live, and why I kept procrastinating, is because I wasn't honoring my feminine. I really wasn't giving permission to be in her feminine flow, because I am not always dolled up all the fucking time. I'm going to be real with you. I love to get dolled up. I love to have a full face of makeup. I love to get my hair done. I love to get my nails done. I love to put in a hot, sexy outfit. But I equally and more often am dressed normal like this. I have a filter on right now just so, like, because I don't have any makeup. Like, you can see that I don't, like, if I don't know if it'll move it, but I don't have any. I only did my eyebrows and a little bit of mascara, because if not, I would have procrastinated again, because I needed to have on a full face of makeup. I needed to have my hair done. I needed to have a sexy outfit, or a better outfit than just a t-shirt and jeans. But the truth is, if I'm going to honor my feminine and give permission my feminine to be me and to be authentic and show up authentically, I'm not always dressed the fuck up. That's the truth. And that's why I kept pushing off this live, because I know I have to put a full face of makeup, and I don't feel like putting on a full face of makeup today. And you know what the interesting part about this is that my own inner masculine noticed that I was really pushing this live off and pushing this live up and consistently rescheduling, and was never the right time. I was not, physically, aesthetically ready. And he was just like, you need to do this. Like, you need to stop pushing things off. In your business, you are the one who sets the standards for yourself. And I was like, ooh. It's like, okay, inner masculine, king. So I was like, okay, I really need to do this. And somewhere along the day today, it came to me that, Jessica, if you want to be fully authentic and you're going to teach women to be in their feminine expression, then you need to honor your feminine expression. And you don't like to always be dressed up. You do love it, but I really don't like to do it all the time. That's the fucking honest truth. And for me to put that kind of pressure on me to have a full face of makeup, to have my hair curled, right? Because I love the wavy curls, but fuck, man, I have a lot of hair. It takes a shitload of time, That is not realistic for me. When the day comes when I can get my hair blown out, once a week, then we'll have a different conversation. And there are some weeks, I do notice that there are some weeks where I'm very much in this hotness phase, where I'm like, I just want to wear like makeup, dress sexy, go outside in a hot dress. And then there are other phases where I'm like, no, I just want to be like this. The effort to do that doesn't feel authentic to me. And that's okay. And that is the purpose of this live, to honor and give yourself permission to be in your flow, to be who you are and not to be someone else. And like I said, sometimes you'll have for me, it really came from a genuine place at the time that I felt that I decided that I'm like, okay, I'm really going to show up in all my hotness. But I realized that it became an excuse to not go live because I didn't want to put that kind of effort in to going live. So I do show up here with my makeup on and have myself fully done and things like that. And I will most definitely do that, especially when I'm teaching a course, because it goes within the whole vibe of the course. You know what I mean? It's a different energy when there's something that I want to give and I want to execute and I want to show up in a specific energy. But my lives, what they really are about is speaking from my heart and for you to take away a message. And this was the perfect message to send. Just show up. Just fucking show up. And that's what I'm here to do. And that's what I'm giving you permission to do. So you really want to ask yourself, is what kind of life do I want to build for myself? Because we are in a time where we are recognizing that being in our overcompensated masculine isn't helping us. And having that compensated masculine lead us has led to burnout. So for women, we're at a time where we can choose, how do we want to create our life? And when we lean into our feminine and then the masculine executes from that feminine, it's so different. Look at what happened to me today as I'm sharing this. My feminine said, I really want to give this live, and yes, and I really want to get all dolled up, and I'm really, this is something that I said I was going to do after my last live, and I really want to do this. There's a message here I want to share. My divine masculine heard that. And then he finally said, okay, but now, it's been 2 weeks since you've put this off. You need to do this now. And then the breakthrough that I had about this. Can you see how it is and I'm showing up here very light energy. I'm showing up with okay, I want to give this live. I'm not showing up here with oh, I don't want to do this. Right? Because now I have to do it because I'm obligated. I'm not obligated, but I'm operating from two completely different energies, from my awakened feminine and my awakened masculine. It's a completely different energy than if I was operating in my shadow. I probably would have given this live a while back if I was operating in my shadow and not recognizing what the resistance was. So I had to ask myself too, what's the resistance that you're feeling? So whenever you're going to go do something and you're feeling resistance, and it's coming from this authentic place, it really came from your feminine desire, that's when you have to face that resistance and ask yourself, why am I resisting this? Especially when that inner masculine comes in to enforce the discipline, it's hey, okay, we need to check on this. What's going on? Why have you procrastinated? We need to do this live now. You have plans that you want to do. And if you don't do this live, and you just push it under, just brush it off it's not a big deal, you're not going to feel confident in yourself, right? But that's the divine masculine coming in through this space holding. And I want to say a calling out, but in a calling out in a way that's allowing my feminine to be okay, we're not going to be wishy-washy about this. Why am I resisting? Because I would not show up authentically. I want to show up authentically like this. I don't want to put on a full face of makeup and put my hair on. You get the vibe? So this is what's available for us when we act, and then here I am live executing with my full energy and not feeling this obligation or this pulling my teeth to come up here because I said I was going to do it and now I'm obligated to do it, right? There's a completely different energy that is presented when you show up like that. and there's a completely different energy of what you receive. So imagine that for yourself with how you show up in your life and how people are receiving your energy based on how you're showing up. So when you give yourself permission to be in your feminine and to follow her flow, and then allow the divine masculine to come in and execute, you're going to produce a different result, and you yourself are just going to feel lighter. It's not going to feel heavy. It's not going to feel struggle. It's not going to feel force. It's not going to feel control. It's not going to feel time constricted or just messy action. And there is a time and place for messy action. I'm all about messy action, especially in the beginning of certain things. But there comes a time where it's more about depth, right? It's more about honoring this part of you that is saying, I want flow. I want personal power. This is how I want to create my life. I want to create my life with expansion, with self-love, with time, freedom, and intentionality. Can you see the kind of life that will be created with that? In your business, in your career, with your lover, with your body, with your self-image. It's so different than the other way. Then when we lead with this overcompensated masculine energy, that's force, control, struggle, sacrifice. Fuck, man, I'm over sacrifice. Please give me an amen if you are over fucking sacrificing, because I know I am. And that left to a very exhausting life. So that completes this live today. And I invite you to ask yourself these questions. What kind of life do I want to create for myself? And if I gave myself permission to be in my feminine and to be in my feminine flow, what type of life would that create? What would that create in my relationship with my lover? How would that create with my body? How would I create my life with money and career and business? And how would it create within myself and my soul and like how I feel about me and everything around? And see what comes through. See where there's resistance and why. Maybe you're not honoring a part of you. You're not being fully authentic. And then once you get that answer, you're going to have all these light bulbs. And then your masculine side is going to be like that. Divine masculine expression is going to go and execute. And it's going to give you the best work, the best love, the best friendships, the best everything else, the best body, all of that, because it came from your soul and your core authentic truth. So this is the work that I do with my one-on-one clients in my one-on-one mentorship program. I have 3 versions that you are available to choose from. I have Rebuild, that is really rebuilding the foundation at which you operate in your life. So we are really going to give yourself permission to now create a new embodiment of your masculine and feminine energies to create in this world. We're gonna marry your inner masculine and your inner feminine, like your king and queen energy are now going to be working together. So you're operating from this awakened place and from this place of how do I want to be in life, right? And even though we are talking a lot about feminine energy here, the one key piece to being in your feminine energy is to having a solid and sacred masculine energy. So when we are, and this is the work that I do, is a lot of identity work and a lot of shadow dissolving for you to step into that identity with the woman you want to show up in, with your lover, with your husband, with your boyfriend, with your body, with your business and relationships, right? All of that is first required within you to have a masculine, or not always first, because sometimes we can work on different energies simultaneously, or we're called to be in another energy versus other. But to really hold that vision that you have So if you're doing a lot of inner work and you're not holding it, is because this inner masculine hasn't awakened yet. And this is the work that I do. We allow you to hold the vision of the feminine, like everything we're talking about today in this live. And the masculine is the container that it allows that growth to stay, okay? And to continue to evolve and actually produce the results that you want in your life. So the results of having a better relationship, having better conflict resolution with your partner, having better sacred boundaries where you actually honor and follow through with them, right? And then the second package that I have available is the embodiment, which is we take what we did in Rebuild and then we expand more into that, and we make sure you have this full embodiment of these expressions. So this one is really good, really juicy, and within that one is 12 weeks long. So this one is beautiful if you want to make sure that you are secured within these new embodiments and that everything in your life is now starting to evolve in the direction that you want. And then the other package that I have available is Phoenix, which is a 1-year mentorship that is available to be with me, where we take Rebuild and embodiment and we just have so many deaths and rebirths. Like, you are going to come out the woman that you have envisioned in your mind of where you are now and where you want to be. We're going to bridge that complete gap and be there at the end of those 52 weeks. This one is like, you are just so ready to have this is really for the person who is done investing in little things here and there, maybe like a 12-week package. Like, you've done these types of investments before, but you're ready to go long and deep because you're ready to be held in that kind of space and to receive that kind of results. That is who this Phoenix program is for. So if you're interested in any of these, you can send me a message. I'll have everything in the description, because you can also look into my website, and it's very masculine built, where you're going to know exactly what you're going to be getting out of the programs with me. So that's it for today. My prayer for you is that you listen to your feminine, you invite yourself to have that conversation, to give yourself permission to be in your feminine flow and be authentic to what that looks like for you, and know that it's always going to look different. Our feminine is so mysterious that she'll have seasons of flow. She'll have seasons like that, like a flow where that lasts maybe 2 months, and then other times where it lasts a little bit shorter or a little bit longer, meaning like her energy is so uncontrollable in the sense that she's a mystery, and that's the beautiful part of her. So don't try to figure her out. Just try to listen, and you will find some consistencies, because you also have an inner masculine within you that you start to learn about yourself. So it's not going to be a complete mystery, but you really understand yourself better when you step into your soul and listen to her. But just know the answers can come out mysteriously, or waiting for the answers can come out mysteriously, that's really what the mystery is. But you will find some consistencies in your energies, because there's always consistencies. All right, that's it for today. Hope you have a beautiful and fabulous weekend, and I have such juicy stuff to share with you. Oh my God, I have a masterclass coming out for couples that want to reignite the passion. Like, oh, it's so good. This is what all the postcards are about. I have like my wall over there, creating the outlines, creating the landing page, the branding, all of that stuff. So wow, I cannot wait for this. Like, it's going to be so juicy, and you're going to just feel madly in love again after you take this masterclass. So keep a lookout for that next week or so. And I will see you in the ethers.